What's going on again, guys? This is the midweek market review for September 9th through the 13th. And we're going to see what happened this week, so let's get right to the charts. Alright, so here we are on the charts. This is DXY on a 4-hour. I just wanted to show you a little bit of stimulus that came out of news. It's a long wick. This is the result of news here. So let's go ahead and take a look at the economic calendar. So earlier in the week, just to go over, that was CPI today. It was positive by a little bit, but it was obviously exaggerated due to speculation. So that's why you do see this big wick here, and then it came right back because it wasn't really that significant. It wasn't, trend changing, significant news. It was just a positive report that typically has a lot of volatility associated with it. So that's what this is for here. But that's why we recommend being careful trading around news, especially because even if something does come out positive, as we saw here, it'll go up and then it could come right back, in the matter of, a few hours. While you're out to lunch, you may think you're up, a few thousand, and then you come back and then look what happened. This is why you got to protect your trades, or just don't trade news at all, because things like this can happen. So let's just go back to the economic calendar. Earlier in the week, we had a little bit of yen news, GDP on par, nothing too significant coming out of there. Then we did on Monday, we had the vote for Brexit, which actually proved to show a little bit of stimulus. Nothing crazy, again, not trend changing, but in that day it showed a little bit of stimulus because now that the UK can't leave without a deal in mind. So that's positive because you want a deal to happen. They want a deal to happen when there were talks of backing out of the EU without any, Brexit deal. So it was scheduled the 31st, but then it says here, Queen Elizabeth approves law seeking to block the October 31st no deal. So Britain's Queen Elizabeth gave the final approval to a piece of legislation that seeks to prevent Boris Johnson from taking the country out of the EU without an exit deal. So now there has to be an exit deal, which is, good news. So again, we saw a little bit of stimulus in that day. Obviously, more news to come in the next few weeks, especially approaching this October 31st deadline. So we will see what happens, and we will definitely be covering that. So we can just expect at this point that there will be more volatility coming out of the pound. So let's see what else happened in the week. A little bit of CPI, positive CPI news for China. And we got some positive unemployment for the pound again. This was on Tuesday. And then today we had the euro rate decision, which they cut 0.1 more percent. They cut 0.1 more percent for the euro. So that's what we see here. We saw a dip. It tested this lower range, and then obviously, stimulus coming out of it. Big bullish candle. So that was positive news, because cutting is usually, equivalent to stimulus in the economy, and also speculation exaggerates that too. So again, if you're not used to trading news, these big moves can happen, but also, you just got to be careful. This was a 168 pip move from the low here. If you want to count this wick, actually, we could do almost 200 pips, something like that. That's pretty wild. So a 200 pip move in the matter of, a few hours, guys. That's the power of news, and that's due to a 0.1% rate cut. 0.1. Pretty wild. And then again, so here we are with this wick for DXY. This is this wick here. And this CPI is the culprit. Again, very, very minor change, but it's positive. And again, it's, CPI is a high volatility news event. So again, speculation was involved here, and this news report was exaggerated, as you can see on the chart. Giant wick, didn't really have much, weight to it, backing it up and further pushing through this trend line. It was just pure speculation move, guys. And then to wrap this up, we got tomorrow a little bit of retail sales and Michigan CPI for September preliminary. So that'll wrap it up for this week, guys. That's the news for now. This was a pretty choppy week overall. There's a lot of news, a lot of indecision in the market. If you see, if you guys will know if you've done any analysis this week, there's a lot of ranging happening, a lot of indecision, a lot of TA not playing out. But that's just due to the economic events that are happening and such. So we will keep you guys updated in further weeks. Look forward to the end of week trade recap, trade review, and I'll see you guys next week for another midweek market review. So have a good one. Enjoy the weekend. Thanks, guys.